Hello and welcome back to a new live Oxygen XML session. So I am excited for today's session because I have my colleague here, Christian Talo. Hi, Christian. Product manager at Synchrosoft for the Oxygen Content Fusion product. And in the following hour, he will reveal the practical solutions to overcome common Git and DITA challenges with the Content Fusion tool. So whether you're dealing with challenges in collaboration with SMEs, publishing hurdles, or translation complexities, today's event, solving common Git and DITA challenges, will provide the practical solutions that you need to streamline your workflow. I will tell you in less than 1 minute that today's event is being recorded, and you can find the recording on our website oxygenxml.com in the following days, along with Christian's presentation slides, and also we will upload the video on our YouTube channel Oxygen XML, where you can find an extensive library of video tutorials and event recordings just like this one. And also what I want to remind you is that you are always being encouraged to ask us questions during Christian's presentation, because we have a big team behind the scenes. We have Mihaela Kalotescu, Bogdan Dumitru, and Mihai Coandă ready to answer your questions in real time. Questions that we will again address at the end of today's session for the benefit of everyone joining us today. So without further ado, I introduce you to Christian Talo. Christian, you have the stage.
Hello, everyone. Let me start by sharing my screen. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks, Aline, for introducing me. I'm Cristi Tărău. I work for Synchrosoft for 12 years. As Aline said, I'm the project manager for Oxygen Content Fusion, and I'm excited to let you know that yesterday we released version 8.0 of Content Fusion. Despite not being the topic of this webinar, I will present some of the features that we released yesterday during the webinar. Okay, the main reason for doing this webinar is that here at Synchrosoft we have a couple of documentation projects which are managed in DITA and Git. For example, our user guide, our blog, our internal documentation, and so on. And we are facing some challenges with Git, and being a software company, we figured out some solutions and we developed tools for them, and we want to share them with all the documentation teams that face the same struggles as we do. So during the webinar, I will mostly speak from our experience. Some parts of some problems that I will present are mostly based on our users' experience. For example, the translation workflows. We currently do not translate our documentation in other languages. So here I will be open for your feedback and questions using the webinar questions view. Yeah, so that being said, let's get started. So the agenda today is the following. I will start by explaining why we chose Git over other solution, and then I will go through a couple of potential challenges that you might also encounter, like branching related strategies, conflicts in Git, which are dreaded by most technical writers, collaboration with subject matter experts, link management, localization, and publishing. So first of all, why we chose Git to run our internal projects? Because it's an open standard, and being developers ourselves, we wanted to be able to easily create tools that help us during the documentation workflows. And for you, there are also a couple of extra benefits. For example, there is no vendor lock-in. The content is yours, it's stored on the Git repository that you control. The DITA is an open standard, so there is no login. Another nice thing is that it offers a very robust revision control, so it keeps history of edits to each file, so you can go back in history to understand who made who wrote each part of a documentation file and why. It also has support for versioning. For example, we release multiple versions of our software, and we also maintain documentation for old versions. And it also supports branching workflows that we are used to from our development work. Okay, so before starting to go through the challenges, I wanted to make a quick poll in which I ask you to tell me which is the most pressing challenge that you face when you're working with DITA and Git. This might help me tune the presentation better for the audience. So the options are collaboration with SMEs, localization, publishing, scalability, and some other problems. And I invite you to write them in the questions view. At this point, my colleague Aline will start the poll, and you can answer the questions there. Okay, we're still collecting responses. It's a very close competition. Yeah, so the winner is publishing with 41%, then collaboration with SMEs and localization with 35%, scalability 29%, and others 12%. Okay, thanks for the input. Okay, so let's start with the biggest, with the first type of challenge. So the first challenge is related to working with branches. So from our experience, writers often work on multiple issues at the same time. They are collaborating with subject matter experts, and they sometimes wait for input from them. So they might start to document a feature, and then they are blocked on that front, and then they switch to another task, and then to another task. And it is very important to make this switch as easy as possible. What we saw with our clients is that they try several approaches, like using multiple Git clones for multiple versions of the product, and when the repositories are huge, they try to use advanced tricks like Git work tree, which is something very complex to set up and to teach the technical writers. Another approach is to always switch branches when you go to a different task, but then you have to either make a temporary commit or stash the outgoing changes that you have in progress, and so on. With Content Fusion, we designed an improved solution, and we basically created a personal workspace which is attached to each branch. So each Git branch gets its own workspace. So you can open multiple browser tabs and have multiple workspaces and work on multiple tasks in parallel. The biggest advantage is that workspaces are very cheap to create. So there is it is a very fast operation. It doesn't consume almost any resources to create a new branch and a new workspace. Another problem that that people have is that when you are working on a branch, maybe someone else also is working on that branch, and your working copy is a bit outdated. And for this reason, we made workspaces automatically update. So when you open a browser tab on a workspace and you don't have any outgoing changes in that workspace, it is updated automatically. And we also cover cases when there are incoming commits. For example, we show a warning to let you know that there are incoming commits, and we also have a built-in tool to help you resolve them. I think this is you might understand better how these workspaces work during a demo. So I created a small project used to illustrate this concept. So I want first to introduce you the topic of that project. So it's a documentation project for a fictional product called Smart Desk 3000, which is an AI-powered adjustable desk that learns how from your usage how to adjust its settings. So yeah, now let's go to the first demo. So I created a project in Content Fusion. So in Content Fusion, if you have the author role, you have a bunch of a project. You can create new ones. For this webinar, I created a dedicated project. And here I have this content. So this is the data map that corresponds to the product. And I have several branches. By default, I'm on branch main, and I made some branches that I will use during the webinar. And yeah, let's say I want to work on some documentation for safety guidelines. So I go here and create a new branch called features safety guidelines. And I click here to create a branch, and the branch is created almost immediately. And then I click edit in workspace, and an authoring workspace is created for me to work on this branch. Okay, now okay, so here I want to create a new topic on this branch. So I will go here, and so in the workspace, I have an AI positron side view, which is enabled if I install the Oxygen AI positron plugin. And with this plugin, I can use AI to generate content. And now I'm working I'm working on this branch called features/safety guidelines. I open the workspace. I go to AI Positron and I want to create a new topic. And I say here, I want to introduce a topic about safety guidelines for Smart Desk 3000. Give me an outline with what could go in this topic. And this way I'm using the AI creativity to show me, to tell me what to include in this new topic. Okay, so let's say I choose only the first three things, and then I have a favorite prompt here called create topic. And this is basically a prompt that I saved a bit earlier to work faster during the demo. So here it instructs the AI to how to create this topic, and here I say here is the outline, and I paste what the AI told me and click send. And now the AI started to think. It makes a plan and it tries to create a topic and then the data map. As we see, the data topic was already created. The data map was updated, and now it says the document is valid. It also tries to validate everything that that the AI creates, and it has a feedback cycle. So if the AI creates an invalid topic, then it feeds it back in with the validation results, and the AI has the chance to correct everything. So here, this is the new topic that was created. I can click here to open the file, and also it was also linked in the data map at some point. Okay, and in a real life situation, sometimes someone tells me that I need to fix a typo in the release notes, but now I'm not done with this topic. I have to check whether the AI made a mistake or to adjust it to my needs. So they send me this link. Well, in the release notes, there is an error. Here it says that version 2.0 was released in 2225. And here I can go to edit online. And now I'm on the main branch in this tab, and on the other tab, I'm on the safety guidelines branch. So here I can go to correct the typo, save it, and say fix typo and commit. And that's basically it. So now I'm again on this branch, and I can, so nothing was changed on this branch. I can continue to work on it. So it is that simple to switch between the tasks, just to fire another browser tab and start working. Okay, another thing that I wanted to show you with workspaces is how they work when they are out of date. So here I have a workspace in which I have a local change, and I have a couple of warnings saying that I have one incoming commit. So it says that there is one incoming commit. It can safely be merged. I can click here to view the changes, and I can see that there was a word change here. So, and now I can click pull to bring everything in my workspace besides my changes. But I wanted to show you something else. So if I click here and discard the local changes, the next time when I reload this page, the workspace will be updated automatically. So when I open a workspace that is clean, it automatically updates it and said that, look, this is the latest commit that you brought to your workspace. Okay, let's go to the next type of challenge. So the next challenge is about conflicts. You know about them probably very well. I wanted to highlight some of the most common sources of conflicts. So sometimes when you when you have a local working copy and you forgot to pull the remote changes, you might start to edit a file that was already modified. And when you try to commit it and push you, only then you will notice that there is a conflict. And as I showed you earlier, with Content Fusion workspaces, you always get the most up-to-date version, or at least you are warned that you have to pull those changes. Another bottlenecks for concurrency are data maps and warehouse topics. When working with these shared resources, it is a higher chance to have two people modify them roughly at the same time, as opposed to topics which are usually in a large number, and it's a very slight chance that two people are editing a topic at the same time. And another use case is, for example, if you make a large refactoring, for example, if you replace a word for another in basically every file of the project. Now, one simple solution is to try to avoid the conflicts. For example, always start with an up-to-date workspace, or even if you are working with local working copies, you need to make a discipline to always pull the changes before starting to work. Also, when scheduling work, you can try to avoid having two writers on the same topic. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not, but when possible, you should avoid conflicts at this level. Another useful strategy is to organize warehouse topics into sections. If you organize them into sections, you will have multiple people adding new content, but not always at the end of the topic, but in different sections. And then Content Fusion is able to automatically merge this type of conflicts. And if none of these approaches work, you always have the chance to use the Content Fusion visual merge tool to solve the conflicts. So I wanted to show you a bit first a case in which conflicts occur when merging two branches that modify a single file. So I created a branch here. I created two branches, webinar conflict demo 1.1 and 1.2, that have a conflict. So, and now I want to merge those two branches. So I say here, I want to merge webinar conflict demo 1.2 in 1.1. And when I click merge, I notice that in the data map, there is a topic added on the left branch here, and there is a topic added on the right branch here. And the merge resolution is automatically merged. So Content Fusion detected that this conflict can be automatically merged. Here, if I toggle this switch, I can also see the content that belongs to each of the branches. So on the first branch, there is a use cases topic, and on the other branch, there is a upgrading and expanding topic. And now if I click merge, I should be able to get all the changes on branch 1.1. So if I go here to the content, to the data map, I will be able to see both topics. So one of them is this one, and one of them is this one. So this is the built-in tool for a simple merge case in which the conflict is automatically mergeable. I also created a more complex use case that would happen if a refactoring was done on a branch, and then on the other branch there is a small change. For example, here I have this branch on which I made a small change, as you will see, and I want to merge into it another branch where I changed the content to use definition lists instead of list item with a bold at the beginning. But let me show you how this works. So I will try to merge refactoring use the else in this branch. So as you can see now, this conflict cannot be automatically merged. So it's a more complex use case. So here, as you see, I have list item with a bold inside, and this is the kind of structure that you use in Word, for example, when you don't have dedicated markup for that. But let's say the project has a large refactoring that wants to go through each topic and detect this kind of patterns and turn them in a definition list. So here I can see an incoming change. So nothing was changed in my branch, but on the branch with refactoring, there is a change. So I can copy this change from here to here. And then there is a conflict here. On the left branch, I use elevation instead of height. And on the right branch, I use a definition list instead of this word-like markup. So what I can do here is that I can note this change. I can copy the definition list here. I can go here to copy elevation instead of height and delete this content. So this is basically how a manual merge works. And now the merge resolution is called manual merge. Here is the manually merged version that I'm going to consider as the conflict resolution, and I click merge, and the merge was successful. So this merge tool is very powerful. So it uses a three-way merge algorithm that can detect automatically merging conflicts, and this solves you a very large number of conflicts that you would otherwise have. Okay, then the next topic is about SME collaboration. And now I also want to run a poll where I'm asking what is the biggest challenge for you when collaborating with SMEs? It's conflicting feedback, that you have different suggestions from different people, or delayed responses that makes you miss deadlines, or unstructured input that you have to manually convert to DITA, or the lack of a standardized review process, or some other issue. And now let's see what the results are. So 67% delayed responses, 47% unstructured input, 40% conflicting feedback, 33% lack of standardized review process. Okay, I will make sure to highlight how these problems are mitigated by Content Fusion. So first of all, the challenge with the reviews from subject matter experts is that they don't understand the source mode of XML, so you need to show them a visually rendered document. Another problem is with access control. What documents do you want to let them modify, and what documents you don't want? The lack of structure, and they also might so if they have access directly to the Git repository, they might look at the the wrong version of the content that they review. With Content Fusion, we have this concept of review tasks, where you basically take a snapshot of the files and share them with other people. They have a visual editor with comments and change tracking where they can input the feedback. We have review tasks have a concurrent editing enabled, which means that multiple subject matter experts and the technical writers can communicate in real time. So if you get conflicting feedback, each reviewer will see the comments from other reviewers, and they have the chance to settle on a decision right there in the review task. And another nice feature is that you can set a due date for review tasks, and that will have the system automatically ping the subject matter experts that they have to submit their feedback. So you don't have to send embarrassing emails to them saying, look, I know you are busy, but we also need an answer from you. The system will send them on your behalf. Okay, now let me try to demo this to you. Let's try to start with the second demo. So let's say I'm on branch main. I go to the workspace. I go to AI positron, and then here I also run the create topic prompt to send the AI with some instructions to create a topic. And let me see here. So I have some example prompts here. So I prepared a bit before the webinar with some outlines for the topics to be created. So I can click here to create a new topic in my workspace. I wait for it to be created. And at some point, so yeah, now it starts to create the content. Let's hope it gets it from the first time. Okay, so it failed this time. This is what happens if you do a live demo with AI. So let's try again. It usually gets it right, but like 1 in 7 tries it messes up. Okay, now tries to create the topic and the data map. So yeah, so this topic is about maintenance and care for SmartDesk 3000. Now it seems that it's working better. While we are waiting, I wanted to point out that we have this rollback option. So at any point, if you are not happy with the latest modification made by AI, you can roll back to any previous moment in the conversation. So even if you have local changes on a file and then the AI goes and modifies it, you can roll back to the previous version without any problem. Okay, so now I have these two changes in my workspace, but I decided I need a review for them before committing. So instead of committing to this branch, I can click here to create a new task, give it a name like review maintenance. I choose a context publication and click create. And now I have a review task that I can I can send for review to reviewers to get feedback on this content. And a nice thing is that reviewers can go here and see that in this review task that are already some commits. So here the data map was changed. So they basically see what I did in the workspace in a summarized way. So this is a file change history entry, and this is a new file history entry. Okay. So yeah, and now the reviewers, so now I have no reviewers here. I can click here and share them by email with someone that I would like, or copy the link and share it this way. I can also go to the task settings where I can set a due date. So I can say that I want to receive by Friday a response, and then the reviewers that I add will receive an email one day before the deadline to let them know that they should provide an answer. Okay. Another challenge is that when collaborating with SMEs, they sometimes, or in fact, most of the times, send you unstructured content that you have to manually convert to DITA, and then you have to go back and forth to ensure that nothing is lost in when converting to DITA. The way this works with Content Fusion is that a technical writer can go here to the Content Fusion project and start by creating a new task. And here I can go to the to choose the files that I want to be part of the review task. I can also choose a due date from the beginning. I can choose the context publication. But now, instead of choosing some files that I want to send to edit, I can choose, for example, the chapter, the features chapter that I want the user to add content into. Okay, so I can click create here, and then let's say they send me this Google Docs link, which has some content that is probably written by an engineer. They have a non-formal wording, like here is like if the software dependency do not match hardware, some adjustments will be needed. So it definitely needs some brushing up. So what I can do now is to create a new file. Let's call it system configuration overview. Okay, go on and create it. And then I can go here and copy this content in AI positron and tell it, well, this was the content. Convert this topic to DITA, this content to DITA, and insert it in the current file. Now it works on that. So basically, it does the just output the okay. Now it creates basically the equivalent data topic of that HTML, And here I also have a button to insert it. Okay, it's also inserted a section that I want to delete, but so I can make some manual adjustments here. Let's say I want to go to the section and then invoke the content menu, delete element tags. So now the content is basically in the same format as it was in the Google Docs. And here I can go to rewrite and say improve structure. And now it already made the content much nicely structured with a node here, with lists and so on. Here I noticed that there is a keyword, and let's say the subject matter experts write something like do not use special font for OS. And basically they also add some other comments, and what I can do here is to select this part and use another feature from Positron, which is called resolve comments. And yeah, here it just replaces the markup with the plain text, but if I run it over larger parts of the document, it does basically what the comment says. And now I quickly made those changes. I can go back to the subject matter expert to see whether they like it better now or not. Yeah, so this was basically it about the collaboration with subject matter experts. Then another challenge that people have is link management. For example, when you move things around, the hrefs from a topic to another might break. In Content Fusion, we automatically update the hrefs when you move files around. There is also a validation feature in the workspace that is able to find broken links. And for more flexibility, you can use Oxygen XML editor with powerful actions like search references in DITA Maps Manager, validate and check for completeness, for example, to find orphan topics and so on. Okay. Now let's skip a bit to the localization challenges. So in a CMS, you will most likely have a translation workflow, and with Git you will have to assemble one yourself. So first of all is to create a package that you want to send to a translation agency. Then you have to find a way to translate only the modified content when you're releasing a new version of a product, and to track the status of localized content. Here, the solutions that we have are mostly implemented in Oxygen XML editor. So we have two possible workflows. So one workflow is using the Fluenta add-on. And the workflow is like this. You first create a translation project from a DITA map. Then you create an XLeaf, which is sent to a translation agency to be translated. And then when you get the translated XLeaf, you generate the DITA content in the target language. And then when you have some additional content, you repeat the exact steps, but since the add-on manages the translation memory for you, in the generated XLeaf file, you'll only have the modified content untranslated. So you will need to pay only for the new content when you translate something. Okay, so let's go here on the webinar internationalization branch and go to the projects view, and let's try to translate this content in French. So what I do, I will first create a folder for the English version and a folder for the French version, and I will put both the topic and the data map inside the English folder. Since I did this from the editor, I think I will have to also update this link here. Okay, and now let's try to use the Fluenta add-on. So I go here to the data map and say Fluenta translation, create a new project, and I call it Smart Desk. Source language is English, and I add here French as a target language, and I create the project. And then what I can do is to say generate XLIF. I can say here, so I want to generate it for French. I want to generate it maybe in a folder called I18N and click generate. I also have here a check called use smart desk translation memory, which is empty at the beginning. So yeah, now it generates the XLIF and I can open it. And it contains basically the untranslated parts of the content. Okay, now what I need to do is to take this XLIF and translate it. I have here an XSLT that I will copy to my project, which uses positron using this custom XSLT function to translate this XLIF. It's something that George helped me to put together for the webinar. So it's not something production ready, but I think it will manage to work for this XSLF file. So I can click here, transform, let's say configure transformation scenario, new. Let's choose the XSL URL. So it's this one. And let's say the output will be current file URL .out.xlf. Okay, let's hope that it works. It might take some time because it basically takes each file from this XLF and sends it to AI in order to translate it. It would probably have been better to choose a slightly smaller sample. Yeah, so maybe while this is working, I can show you what I will do after it finishes and then proceed with the presentation. So after it finishes, I will take the output XSL file and apply it to generate the translated content. And then the generated content can be committed to the Git repository. And the other option that we have to translate a DITA project is to use the translation package builder. This translation package builder does not generate XLIF, so it only works if the translation agency supports DITA. Okay, and how it works is it generates an archive which contains the DITA content that was modified since the last translation workflow, and it also creates a milestone file which contains basically a snapshot of the content in the source language. This snapshot does not store the actual content, but stores only a hash of that content. So its only purpose is to be able to detect when and which of the topics are changed in the source language. And the next time when you want to translate the content, it will include in the package only the files that were updated. So the interesting thing is that it generates this file, which can be used to track the version that was translated the last time, and to understand what you need to translate during this increment. Okay, so it seems that the translated XLF file was generated. Yeah, so here I have a target translation for each of the source translations. Let's hope that everything went well and I can import this XLIF file. So is the first one, open and import. So it now creates the topics in the French language. I think okay. Let me refresh. I think I made a mistake and it added everything in the root folder. So I have to move them in the French folder now. Okay, so now I have this French content, and I can go here to the Git staging view and commit everything. Okay, now I can push this comment, and in Content Fusion, I will be able to see this content right here. So I can close all the tabs because they belong to the old locations of the files. So I have this English version and the French version. I can open one of the files to see that it was indeed translated. So everything looks good. What I can do now is to try to publish this content. But yeah, so before that, let me show you a bit how the other translation approach works. So now I can generate a milestone, and I can show you how this milestone looks like. So it looks like this. So it is a hash code of the file and then the file. So it basically records what versions of the files are currently in the repository. And then let's say I go to a topic, I make a change here, and then I go to the DITA map and say create modified files package, and it will detect that there is only one file that was modified after the milestone was created. So, and this file was exactly the one that I modified. And if I create the package here, I think I will be able to see it right here, and it contains exactly the file that I modified. Okay, I'm running a bit short on time, so I will try to speed things up a bit. So let's go to the publishing part. I will just show you how it works. So here I have the publishing enabled for the English version, and now I can create a. So this is the English version deliverable for the user manual, and I can create a new deliverable, which is called Smart Desk French. I choose the here I only have this publication, which is for the English version. So I first have to go here to the publications view and add a new publication for the French version. Made a typo, so I can create this publication. I go to the deliverables part, and I can create a deliverable out of this publication. No, sorry, a bit. So I first need to merge everything back in main. Okay, and now when I try to create a new deliverable, let's hope I have both publications. So I have also the French version. Here I have a checkbox whether to add edit online links that bring me back to Content Fusion. These edit online links are useful when you are using this deployment as a staging server, so that you can get a link from the published output to the actual source document. And let's say I want to publish it using this connector. So what I did right now is I took a publication, which is basically a pair made from a DITA map and a DITA val. In our case, I don't have profiling in this simple project. I set some publishing options here. Then I chose the output type, which is web help. And then I choose here where to upload. Here I chose to upload to a predefined connector, and let me show you how these connectors work. So we have support for multiple types of connectors like Amazon S3, SVTP server, and Netlify. And these are two connectors that I set up earlier for this webinar. So here I can click save, and there will be a new deliverable created. I can click here to build the output. Here I can see the output log from the DITA OT process. And at some point, we will also be able to see the result. So it says that was uploaded to the Netlify platform, so everything looks good. And now I have these two versions. This is the English version, and this is the French version, hopefully. And as you notice in the output, even the interface of the web help was modified to be in French. So here instead of home, it says accueil. And here imprimer cette page, and so on. So now I have a fully functional continuous delivery system with two versions, one for English and one for French. And they also have these edit online links. And if I click them, it will bring me back to the Content Fusion workspace with that exact file opened. So I can, if I notice a typo here, I can go right into my workspace to fix it. And another nice thing about deliverables is that you can actually customize the publishing template. So I have this default one. I can duplicate it and say I give it a name like branding, and then I can use a web-based interface to customize how it will look like. So for example, here I can go and upload a logo for this product, and I can go to web help, menu, colors, and choose this color because the logo looks better on white. And so this is how easy it is to customize the look and feel for the published output. Now I can click here finish and then choose the new template, save the deliverable, and now if I build it again, the new published version will have the new branding. We are a bit over an hour. I wanted to run another poll right at the end. So I was curious about your experience with publishing. So how are you publishing your DITA content? Do you use one of our standard output formats like WebHelp or Chemistry, or you are using PDF but not with Oxygen PDF Chemistry? You are using a portal, either a commercial one or a homegrown one, or something else? And in this case, please share what you use. Okay, and most probably you are using multiple formats. So the poll is closed now. So 46% are using web help, and then there is a tie with 23% for all of them. Okay, let's take a quick look if the branding was updated. Okay, so the branding of the page was also updated and the build finished. So now I have a user guide which is in 2 languages and is also properly branded. Okay, so I think this concludes my presentation. Thank you for staying until the end of the webinar. Now I think is the moment to give the stage back to Aline to go over the questions that were asked during the presentation.
Thank you, Christy. This was a great presentation. And also, I want to share this with our audience. This was the first of a series. We have other upcoming webinars that are ready to be scheduled that will be presented by the Content Fusion team. So it's really great that we synchronized with the release of the newest version of Content Fusion, version 8. So thank you, Christian, for doing this. So let's jump right into the questions. We actually had some of our audience members that shared with us that they are going to move from SVN to Git, and actually wanted a preview of the pros and cons of the challenges that they might face. And I hope that this presentation answered the most of their questions. And if you,
in case not, I will be happy to answer if you write either to my
perfect,
personal email or on support at oxygenxml.com. So feel free to.
So
to ask.
So send us your punctual questions. Regarding cherry picking, we got a question. Can we cherry pick with the Oxygen Git client? And I think our colleagues helping us behind the scenes actually opened a ticket to analyze this feature request.
Internally, we are so for this particular use case, we use GitHub Desktop, which is has, I think, the best UX for cherry picking.
Thank you. Thank you. How about formatting? Stefan is asking us. We use Prettier to automatically format files such as line breaks or change attribute order in a pre-commit hook. Can we do something similar with Content Fusion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the moment, Content Fusion doesn't support pre-commit hooks, but that's an interesting use case. We have to think a bit how we can implement that, either with a pre-commit hook or direct support for Prettier, which is a popular tool for developers, at least. Yeah, we will register an issue and follow up when we have something.
Elizabeth asked us the following: can you see the DITA source code while authoring or editing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. So here, when you have this document open, you can go here to the triple dots menu and edit XML source, and then you can see the full DITA source. You can, yeah, you can also make changes to that, and it's a something a bit more advanced. So that's why I didn't want to highlight it in the webinar, but it's definitely possible.
As you mentioned, again, if you have follow-up questions for Christian, you can shoot us a question, or you can use the feedback commenting platform that is found on the very same page of this event on our site, oxygenxml.com. We are running a little bit late. If you have other questions, feel free to ask us as a follow-up. I will take back control just to share my my screen. Okay. As I said, we have a lot of surprises for you in the following weeks. So to find out about them, we encourage you to go to our site, oxygenxml.com, to the events page. You have the link here, and if you are an active visitor on our site, you definitely know the events page where you can find where you can be the first actually to find our newest scheduled events, such as live webinars or in-person attendances where the Oxygen XML team will be at the future conferences. So also, I remind everyone that today's event is being recorded, and in the following days, you will be notified by mail where you can find this recording. So this is why I always encourage you to register to our events. Even though you maybe cannot join us live, you will get a notification with the recording. So with this being said, again, great thanks to Christian Talot for helping us out today.
Yeah, thank you.
And Again, many thanks to our team behind the scenes, Mihaela Kalotescu, Mihai Coanda, and Bogdan Dumitru, that helped us with replies in real time to your questions. So with this being said, I hope that we see each other or hear each other in the following weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.